We are going to go ahead and continue working with two-step equations with decimals and fractions. We have these two problems that I've taken from Khan Academy. If you notice, this one has a parentheses, which means we're going to go ahead and use our distributive property on these problems first to get rid of those parentheses. So negative 5 times p is negative 5p. And negative 5 times 3 over 5 is going to be negative 15 over 5. And just to backtrack a little bit here, remember that this negative 5 can be converted into a fraction by placing it over 1. And negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. 1 times 5 is 5, and that's how I got negative 15 over 5. On the other side of the equation, I just have negative 4, and I can't do anything with that, at least not now. So I'm going to go ahead and put out my division for my equation here. And I already noticed that this fraction here, negative 15 over 5, can be divided to get negative 3. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to a negative 3. So I got rid of that fraction already since that's equivalent. And I have negative 5p minus 3 equals negative 4. Now my problem became even easier by doing that. And let me remember that in order to get rid of a constant or any number, I need to do the inverse operation. So I'm going to go ahead and do plus 3. And that's how I'm going to get rid of that. And I have negative 5 over p left on this side of the equation is equal plus 3 over here. Plus 3, because remember, whatever you do to one side, you do it to the other. And negative 4 plus 3 is going to give me negative 1. And I'm going to go ahead and divide by negative 5 because the inverse operation of multiplication is division. And you have negative 5 over here. So your final answer here, I'm going to write it here, is P is equal to 1 over 5, because 1 over 5 is the same as negative 1 over negative 5. Same thing. Whenever you have two negatives like that, it still becomes a positive 1/5. Let's go on to the next one. Remember, you can also plug this in here, solve it, multiply it times negative 5, and that should give you your answer. Next one here, we're going to go ahead and start by dividing the equation. Let me try to make this a little bit better, a little bit more straight. Better. Okay, same thing, distribute. So 3 times q, 3q. 3 times 4 over 3. 3 times 4 is 12. And remember, this is like having a 1, so plus 12 over 3. And eventually we can get rid of that fraction and put 4, but one step at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down my 3q because I can't do anything with that. Not yet. I'm going to go ahead and simplify. Plus 4 equals 2. And my next step is to get rid of that plus 4. And to get rid of that plus 4, I'm going to do minus 4. Whatever I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other. So minus 4 here. And then I'm going to bring down my 3q. Divide by 3. 2 minus 4 is going to give me negative 2. And that's going to be negative 2 over 3. I'm sorry if it's a little sloppy here. So my final answer, we have q. You have q left over is equal. So remember, what we have left over here is negative 2/3. We can leave that answer as a fraction. And that is your final answer. Again, you're more than welcome to check your solution by plugging it in here, substituting that cube for the negative 2/3, solving inside the parentheses first. Then you will multiply by 3, and that should give you a positive 2 as your final answer. So it balances. Last problem, I took the last problem here with decimals. Okay, so we have decimals here. We have a negative 0.5 x. Again, notice I already started with my distributive property. Automatically, I already knew that this was distributive. So, and if you forgot how to distribute, you can actually go into my YouTube videos or any of the links on the videos, and you can go back and look at distributive. So then you're going to go ahead and multiply negative 0.5 times a negative 7.1. You can treat that minus as a negative, same thing. You're going to end up with a positive anyways. And you're going to get 3.55. You can go ahead and actually take your calculator and multiply 0.5 times 7.1. And you'll see that your answer is 3.55. On the other side here, we only have negative 4.5. We can't do anything with this yet. So I'm just going to bring it down to keep my equation balanced here. Now, my next step is to get rid of that 3.55 by doing my subtraction. That would be my inverse operation. And that cancels. Whatever you do to one side, you want to do it to the other side. Now, because I have same signs here, that means that I'm going to keep it negative, and I can add a 0 here to add my decimals. 5, 10, carry your 1, and that should give you 8. 8.05, and notice I kept it negative, and I'm going to go ahead and bring down what I have left over on this side, which is 0.5x. And now to get rid of that 0.5, and let me not make a mistake because I just realized that this was a negative. See, I followed. So this must be a negative as well. So I'm going to divide by a negative 0.5 because otherwise I might end up with the wrong answer because I can mix up my signs and that can cause an incorrect answer. So final answer here, variable left over is x is equal. We're going to take our calculator. You can divide 8.05 divided by 0.5. I already know a negative divided by a negative is a positive. And if you got a chance to do that, you find out that your answer is 16.01. Excuse me, that's wrong. 16.1. That's my final answer. Hope you understood the video. Please make sure you watch it before you do your Khan Academy lessons. Have a great day.